If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. So, and there's another one about schedule. Another bold law about schedule.
Stick to your schedule.
No, close. Right? This is not about selling real estate.
Oh, this is about sticking to the schedule.
This is about sticking to a schedule.
Yeah.
This is not about selling real estate.
And today at 10, Gary's going over the 10 bold
10 bold laws, or 10, I think there's more about it. He's going over 10.
Yeah.
His top 10 or whatever.
10 bold truths. Yeah.
10 bold truths. Yeah, this is about following a schedule. Every other job you've had, you have a schedule.
Follow the schedule when you're
When do you start? What do you do? When you take breaks, right? So this is not about selling real estate. This is about following a schedule. I love that one because we kind of wander. And when we drift, whoo, some of you guys have been in the business long enough where you drift and you're like, holy, it's been 3 months. And you're like, what happened? And it takes 3 months to get paid. Huh?
That's when you notice.
It takes, look, real estate runs in 90-day cycles, Fernando. What I do today dictates what I get paid 90 days from now. So it's February what? 19th? Yeah, okay. February 19th. March, April, May. From right now, you're not getting paid until May. If you're intentional about talking to people, your sphere, people you know, people you don't know, because there's only 2 places to get business, Valentine. People I know, people I don't know. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Now, what's your strategy around going to talk to those people? Because your sphere is only going to give you so much, Fernando. So you got to talk to somebody you don't know somehow, because you're going to run out. And when you run out, then what? You can't go back. You need to wait a little while. Hey, Eric, I know I called you last month. Just making sure. Sure you didn't know anybody who wants to buy or sell real estate? Yeah. Now you're there.
Yeah.
You stink, right? And that's the ick right there. Don't want that. Want relational. So it's networking. It's figuring out where I'm going to prospect. It's having conversations with people that I don't know, and I can come from contribution and not have to sell anything, or even have to ask for a referral. I talked to you guys about that last week on the guy in Vegas who I masterminded with, who never asked for referrals and got lots of them. Why? Because he was coming from contribution. Because, man, there was this, I'm not going to spend the time to go get it. Yesterday I was underlining when I was reading Mr. Schmooze on how he valued people personally and professionally, and he was rating them, going like, where are they on the personal scale, like what value they have to me, and then what value do they have to my business, and ideally wanting to like those numbers to be close to even for both, because like I want to know people and bring value to them, and if I can bring value to them personally, great, but also the people that I know professionally, like I also want to know them, not just execute and perform for them.
Right.
Like I actually want to be in a relationship with them. And you can't take everybody to coffee and lunch, okay? But you can love on them for 3 to 5 minutes on a call. Keep it clean. You can't. I know some of you guys are like, shh, that went 3 to 5 minutes, okay? I can love on them. Okay, cool, let's do another role play. All right, I'm gonna do this role play right here because I want to hear this one, because I boffed this one a little bit the other day, and I actually want to role play it. Is you're at the buyer's representation, right? You're at the buyer's representation, and they say, can you contribute half of your commission? And she caught me off guard because I was like, half of my commission? And then my flesh flared up, you know? And I let a little emotion kind of like, and I was like, no. And I'm like, and let me talk about my value. But I shouldn't have just said no. I let my flesh kind of like flare up, and I'm like, no. And I didn't say it like that, but I was like, you know, no, I won't cut my commission, and let's talk about some of the value that I can bring and how I can bring value to clients. The reason why it shouldn't have been a hard no, and I've been part of training organizations that are like, no. Any other questions? You know, that's a script actually from other training organizations, right? Is that, and I coach and train on this myself, which is positive, progressive, positive, progressive, positive, progressive. Like, I don't want to ever be like this. Will you cut your commission? No. Okay. Will you cut your commission? All right. How do I get to here so that they can get to here so we can get to here? You with me? Positive, progressive when I get objections. I forgot that. Look, this is the testimony right now because I didn't get the buyer, and it was a $1.3 million deal.
Really?
Yeah, and are you gonna ever cut your commissions? Yes, you will. Every single one of you are gonna cut your commissions at some point. Okay? We all do it. Sometimes it happens. Now, is it an exception or is it a standard? Right, because if it's a standard for you, then you got problems. But if it's an exception, okay, listen, it happens. It happens. And in that case, looking back now, David, honestly, they found the property. They want to make an offer on that property. They were cold. And honestly, if I went back, I would have went, you know what? Finding and I was like, finding, we're going to role play it, but like finding a property to me is like 25% of the job. 75% is negotiating, getting us across the finish line, right? And so I should have went, hey, Eric, you want me to give you half of my commission? Hey, I can completely respect, I know where you're coming from. You want to save as much money as possible and get the best deal possible. Is that kind of where you're coming from?
Yes.
Okay, you see how that's different than versus no. Any other questions or no? Let's talk about value. Okay, right. So you want to get the best deal possible, and I appreciate that. I'd feel the same way. So how much of the transaction do you think finding a home is? Because I mean, you guys found the home, right? And that's a certain portion of the business. Like, what percentage of the business do you think is finding the property in the whole scheme of like shopping for properties? Would you guess?
Well, tell me more about why I would want to give you more.
Why you would want me to give me more?
Why would you?
Hold on, you're the buyer.
I'm the buyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're role playing.
All right, I got
Okay.
real quick.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. So look. I understand that you'd want to be able to save as much money as possible and get the best possible deal. Is that where you're at, Eric?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. So look, and you guys found the property. You guys came to me. And so, and I'll be honest with you, finding property is about 25% of the transaction, right? Is the other 75% is negotiating and being able to get the property across the finish line, working with lenders and title and insurance and home inspection. So that's where the real bulk of my work is. But finding the property is about 25% of the job. Does that make sense?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I understand.
So look, I'd be willing to concede 25% of the commission to be able to, fairly, I didn't find you guys the property. Now look, I'd be willing to concede 25% for this property if you make an offer on this property. And if we go shopping again, then, obviously there's some work to do for me to be able to find a property. And so for this transaction, for this property, I'd be willing to concede 25%. And then I think that'd be fair for both you and me as far as how that could work out. Wouldn't you agree?
That does sound pretty fair for what you told me you have to do.
Okay, so break script because let me give you some context. I wouldn't have negotiated that right there and then because she came right at me in the beginning, right? She's like, all right, and then sometimes they do that, right? They're like, all right, so what's going on with commission? How are we going to work that out? It's like, whoa. Hey, great question. Let's and I'm glad that you're concerned about getting a great deal because I want to get you a great deal. Repeat approve, right? Okay, so let's talk about that. Now, we go through, we get to the end of the transaction or the end of the presentation, and I'm going to bring it up because she I want to nail her down, right? I want to secure the commitment, right? And so I know commission was important to you, correct? Right. So tell me, like, how do you is that what you've normally done, or what's your thought process around asking a realtor for part of their commission?
Usually for new agents,
Okay, all right, break script.
That sounds a little aggressive, no?
Huh?
That sounds a little passive aggressive, no?
Well, so what's your thought? Well, I want to understand. Like, so tell me what's. Yeah. So is that what you normally have? You done that in the past, or like how is that part of something that
What's important to you about?
Thank you.
the next real-
Hey, what's important about asking an agent for part of their commission?
Right.
Yeah, last week, remember? What's important about that? What's that do for you? Those questions are not just for motivation. Those questions can help me dig deeper. So what's important about asking for a part of my commission? Half of my commission, for Lord's sake. Hey, so what's important about asking for half of my commission? Now, is that a little aggressive? Hell yeah, it is. She just asked for half my commission.
Could you shift it? Like, what's important to you about the next realtor you hire or the next agent you?
No, we got to get to this. We have to get to this. Now, you could soften it up with that, but the matter of the fact is that I like this play too. Ready? Okay, David. So you want half my commission, and I get it. You want a really good deal, and so let me ask you. I mean, what do you do for a living?
I'm an attorney.
Attorney. Okay, right. And are you like and you usually retain a certain percentage for the case that you do, right? There's a fairly common percentage that you guys charge per case.
On top of hourly. Yeah.
Right. And look, if somebody wanted to, they could go to LegalZoom.com and pay $500 for a case, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but why would someone come to you versus go to them?
I'm a real estate attorney and I sue realtors. So.
Okay, you sue realtors? Nice. I might need your help. Right. But if somebody came to you and said, hey, David, I want to use your services, but can you do it for a half of what you normally charge?
Oh yeah.
Right, but why wouldn't you do that when somebody can go get that service somewhere else? Like, why wouldn't somebody just use you?
Because of my experience.
Okay.
And expertise.
Right, and how does that benefit your clients?
Because I've been doing it a long time.
Okay.
I know how to help them.
Okay, and but somebody else can just go get it done cheaper somewhere else, can't they?
Well, they can get the paperwork.
Right. What don't they get?
Don't follow.
They don't get the knowledge and the expertise
Okay.
to be able to do it.
But how's that important to them?
Anybody can fill out a paper.
Right, anybody can fill out a paper.
Do you know exactly what to do with it? What case laws you're looking at?
Yeah, right. Okay, break script. I like the go into where they're at and then like turn the table on them and make them me.
Right.
Because, I mean, let's think about what they're really trying to do here. This cost doesn't involve you at all. You're coming into my business going, hey, you're not a sell. I mean, pretty typically sellers are still paying the commissions, right? For the most part, compensations.
Yes.
Okay? And so like, you want me to give up half my commission? Compensation? Yeah. Why? Because you can ask? Of course you can ask. Because you can get it cheaper somewhere else? Of course you can get it cheaper somewhere else. But why wouldn't they go somewhere else versus... Now, that's still... I have a feeling that still Jake wouldn't have gotten me this girl because the husband, when we were done, we got all through, and the husband's like, I'm ready right now. I want to hire you. Literally, he said that, right? And I look over at the lady and she's just like... And I'm like, oh shit, I don't got her. Which then, looking back, I've been thinking about this, obviously, for 24 hours. When I saw her body language is more than words, right? I should have went, okay, Jennifer, what's holding you back right now from moving forward with me? And I actually like doing it this way where I go, okay, so everything that I've talked about, have I communicated clearly and presented value? And they go, yes. Okay, and so was there anything that we should have talked about that I didn't talk about? No. Okay, how do you feel about my strategies to find you off-market properties if this doesn't work out, and to provide value in the transaction to make sure that you get the best possible negotiations? What are your thoughts around that? No, we love that. We think that's great. Okay, so then what else is holding you back from us moving forward right now? And I look at Jennifer.
Half your commission.
Half your commission. Okay, great. Let's talk about that. Because if you look, trust your spidey senses, okay? Because if you're vibing that they're not with you and you walk away, the likelihood that they're going to be with you when you walk away, not going to happen, Uma. Not going to happen. So you better address it and have the conversation, because look, that was a $40,000 conversation. That's what it was. Now maybe it's just a $10,000 conversation, but it's still $10,000. So who gets paid the most money? the people who have the hardest conversations, that's who gets paid the most money. And you can do it constructively and collaboratively and delicately and empathetically. You can do all those things.
You don't think
Pauly
you
can save it.
Huh?
You don't think you can save it?
No.
I think you could if you called back and said,
No.
How do you know you can't save
Yeah,
it?
because they were already, great question. Look at that. That's nice. I like that. Because I know that the agent, they called an agent who wasn't going to double end it, obviously, and he referred me to them, and then they were going to write an offer on that property. So they were already, and they were like, look, we're going with another agent. They told me.
Okay.
So, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, also have to depend on those personality, 4 different personalities. I notice that certain people, they don't want to be pushed. You give them space, they come back with you.
Who's pushing anybody?
And not pushing, just say, if you look at them, what it is that you don't want to sign, they just don't give a reason, no matter how hard you push, we just need time.
Sure.
You give them time, they do come back.
Not usually.
Really?
No. Hundreds of transactions. They usually don't come back. Now, when you differentiate somebody who, what are your standards in your business? When somebody gives you objection, I need to think about it, which is not the objection that we were talking about. But let's say you get that, and then you go, okay, well, hey, great, awesome. Well, 2 minds are better than one. Like, are we talking about thinking about my marketing? No. Are we thinking about which agent to go with still? Well, actually, kinda. All right, for me to ask questions to find out, not pushing, but exploring, like so what is it exactly that we're holding off with? Now, some people are gonna open up and they're gonna talk. Some people are gonna sit back like Fernando and go, no, I don't wanna talk, right? Because I can see right now from your body language, you're like, that sounds uncomfortable.
I just have I'm not nice. I'm not diplomatic.
Okay.
I would say, okay, well, this is half of my effort.
Yeah,
Like that's my mentality right away.
right. So like me in that moment, breathe, let it go. It's the flesh, right? Because look, your emotions move faster than your thoughts. Yes? Right? Because in that moment, right? Like it's like nauseously quick, your emotions, right? And she goes, half my commitment. And I haven't had somebody say that to me in a long time. Like, I can't even remember sometimes somebody wanted half my commission. Every now and then people try to get me on it, but that's what shocked me is she said, I want half your commission. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Usually it's like, is this negotiable? Or to give you the full commission.
Well, but it doesn't matter
That's
whether
the
they
part
can or
that
not.
sucks.
Well,
Which that's on the buy side.
right. And I was seeding in my presentation, and the guy was picking it up. I'm like, you can get somebody who's gonna give you their commission, but you're really talking about people who are part-time or they need the work. And I mean, what we're talking about here is negotiating because hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line, and we can win 3 to 5% in the negotiation process. Does that make sense? And they go, yeah. So I was sprinkling it along in the presentation, which by the end the guy was like, he's like, I'd hire you right now. And I look over at the wife and she's like, nope.
So this is at the beginning of the buyer's presentation.
When she asked for it.
Okay.
When she asked for it.
At the very beginning.
Very beginning. And she caught me off guard. She caught me off guard. This is yesterday, 2 days ago.
So she knew nothing about you and didn't care to know.
A little bit because I sent everybody my pre-marketing package for buyers. I have buyers and sellers. And my pre-marketing buyers package is a landing page and it's smoking. Like it's awesome. I got a little video. Hey, thanks for your time. I look forward to meeting you. 30-second video. And then there's the market numbers. Then I do a monthly video on interpretation of the numbers, just talk about what's happening in the month for the numbers, and then my website, and then ways that I bring value, off market. I mean, it's just plug in value on my landing page, right? So they had an idea, and then when they talked to the other agent's like, Paul's the man, blah blah blah, and so they had a good idea, but like she was stuck, and you're gonna get that too. Like you're gonna get people who are stuck. But the thing is let me bring it back here, and then let's do another role play quick, is that when you get resistance, How well do you re-engage the conversation to somebody who's just needs to think about it, or somebody who's bringing an adamant position on their objection, like their energy is very like adamant about like, well, half the commission. To be able to breathe through that and go, okay, positive, progressive, because look, Fernando, I got to be smarter than them. And if I let the flesh flare up, I'm just another casualty.
Fascination.
Okay, because we're here and then no. So that's where I gotta reel in the beast, and sometimes it's a deep. Usually for me, the trigger is the anchor is not the trigger. The anchor that I use is a deep breath, and I go. Not that. Oh, half my commission? Okay, all right, I'm ready. All right, let's go. No? But like something where I'm like,
I'm so triggered. I'm not even you, and I'm so fucking triggered.
Right. And that's going, and this was a fairly warm, it wasn't a referral, but it was like kind of like a referral. And that's going to happen. Your sphere of influence is going to say shit to you. And you're going to be like, are you serious?
Right.
Have my commission? Okay.
I missed it. What did you say?
Half the commission. That's what the.
What's your answer then?
Well, when I did I did the role play earlier. You came late. Sorry. But watch the video. Yeah. No, we got to keep moving. Okay. So we're either going to do another objection or an open house role play. Let's do.
I have a question on the same scenario. I have heard of people who the buyers know that we make commission. So what they say is you have to pay whatever, the 60-80% to them as they are paying the closing costs or whatever the cost they are paying while closing or getting them.
Hold on, I'm lost.
So,
What's going on? Does anybody know what she's talking about? All right, say it again.
okay, I said when buyers go out and buy a home and I'm an agent with them, so for example, I'm the buyer's agent. So they know that I'm going to get some part of the commission. So they start negotiating saying that you have to pay certain amount back to me from your commission.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you handle those kind of situations?
Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about right now, because you have to have that conversation before you get a buyer rep agreement signed. And that's the agreement. So let's stick on it right now. I role played it. Let's stick on the commission. It's probably a better play than bringing up a new commission or a new objection, right? Jake, I just I think I'd like you to represent me, but I'd like you to concede half your commission for me to choose to represent me.
And within that, what's your reasoning behind that?
Well, we bought a home before the last property that we bought,
Yep.
and the agent did that for us.
So when you say half my commission, how much are you thinking you're willing to pay for my services?
Well, I mean, the seller pays the compensation, don't they?
Actually, you're hiring me for what I set my professional fee at, and then from what we've discussed earlier, we'll ask for them to cover that within the transaction.
Right.
Yeah. So you want half of. So I've already let you know that I charge you 3%. So you want me to do it for 1.5%?
Yeah, and credit me back the other 1.5 at closing.
I would. So what do you do for a living again? I would go through that whole. So that would
Yeah.
be my thing.
Let's do it.
Would you?
Yeah.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
You're an engineer.
Yeah.
So how do you bill your clients?
Well, we actually, our firm works with larger firms, and we basically sell we sell software to them.
So if one of your clients came to you and asked you for 50% off of your software, what would your response be?
I mean, no.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you provide a service and you expect something in return for that.
Yeah.
And I've already communicated to you all the things that I'm going to do for you.
Yeah. So we've had,
including
I know there's
providing
agents that'll do that,
There are definitely agents that will do that. I'm going to repeat everything you just said. We do go down this line.
Okay, look, who wants it?
You can hire an agent for $500 to put your home on the market. But what are you going to get for that?
Yeah.
Are you going to get all the things that I've been showing you?
Yeah,
today?
yeah. Remember these tools here? I love these tools. What if, positive or negative, okay? Remember this one? Think, feel, risk, reward. The option is, this is called the option. What they say, what I want to say, okay? So what if, Jake, you go with somebody who's willing to give half their commission because they don't have any business, or maybe they're part-time.
Yep.
Was the agent that you had prior, was that a part-time agent or a full-time agent?
That's a great question. It was a part, I don't know actually.
Yeah.
They never told me.
Right. And maybe the transaction went fairly smoothly, but was there places that you felt you could have won a little bit more, or that maybe you didn't get as much as you thought you could have?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they just did the paperwork.
I just did the option right there. Did you hear me? I go, hey, did it go pretty good? Or was there some place, it's called leading, I call it leading the witness actually, okay? Lead them to where they want to go, right? But precede them with what they want to say or what they want to think, because subconsciously it tells them, hey, I respect what you're thinking. It's very important, Carrie, right? Like acknowledge where they're at and then provide an option. And you could do it almost anywhere. And then they might go, well, I mean, yeah, they might go no and go, well, no, it went pretty good. Okay, well, man, that's awesome that you didn't have anything go wrong, or, and I don't know, maybe you don't know. I don't know. Maybe you don't know that there wasn't something else on the table for you to win at in regards to price. I mean, I don't know. But here's what I do know, is that most agents who are, I don't know, and maybe you don't know, that's another one I use all the time. Or maybe you do know. I don't know, but maybe you don't, and you don't know, but what we do know, I don't know, you don't know, but what we do know, that's what I use, okay? I don't know, I mean, and maybe you don't know, but I'll tell you what we do know. We do know that agents who are conceding concessions usually and pretty typically are part-time agents, or they don't just have enough business.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about a transaction here worth how much? I mean, you want to make an offer for how much? $1 million, right? I mean, $1 million. And so, I mean, very easily we could win 3 to 5% of the transaction just in negotiations. 3% of $1 million is what? $30,000. So look, if I can't win you $30,000 in the transaction somehow, then maybe I'm not worth my weight. But here's what we definitely do know: people that don't have experience are going to be a greater liability. People that don't have as much business are absolutely not going to be able to negotiate in as much favor for you. So here, look, you can go in that direction. It's absolutely there, available to you. Or you already know you get what you what?
You get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about agents who are not even willing to defend their own value, but yet you want them to defend your value? How do you feel about that?
That's pretty concerning.
Okay, break script. That might not work. But at least they know. Like, well, listen, if you hire somebody and they cannot even defend their own money, but you want them to defend your money, but they can't defend their money, how's that going to work out?
Sell me this noodle.
Get out of here. Okay? At least we're talking about something serious right now by challenging beliefs, which is what I should have done, which is like, okay, she asked me right in the beginning, a great way to defer that and take a breath is like, okay, hey, definitely we'll get to that at the end. I want to talk about bringing you value for sure. Repeat, approve. And then I can calm myself down and get into good questions: who, what, where, when, how, on her belief with it. And then explore consequences or risks is what I should have did. I know that, but I let it flare up.
That's why you've been thinking about it for 24 hours.
So I've been thinking about it for 24 hours. Okay? Which is why, look, no matter how far down the road you are, which is why having conversations and role play is so important, because we make money. I lost $40,000 on Tuesday. $40,000. Yeah, you bet your ass I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did I do wrong there? And I was like, oh
You
Man.
lost, they lost an easy 20 and a maybe 40. That's what it works.
I should have walked away
If
with.
you didn't react differently, you would have 20 grand.
I should have walked away with 20 grand. I should have walked away with 20
You had a
grand.
different thought, so like 30 something, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's at stake here.
Yeah.
But we're walking along, just trying to have conversations. Like, no, it's gonna be nice, and I'll figure it out. No, you won't. No, you won't. You're gonna lose money, and you're gonna puff up and tell them, give them a piece of your mind, and tell them what you really think.
But the no's good because they do roll over on it more than they don't. Like if you have half of whatever we just role played, they go, okay, fine. Because they don't, the confrontation eats people.
I walked away, and even though I knew she wasn't totally on board, and when we finished up too, I was like, hey, Jennifer, have a great evening. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I walked away going, I got a pretty good shot at this. And then they didn't call me the next morning. I'm like, I'm toast. It was like evening, and I text him, and he's like, no, we're going another direction. I'm like, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. If they didn't call me in the morning because they want to make an offer on that property, I knew I was toast. Question.
Yeah, I mean, depending on your journey in doing this, right? So that kind of a conversation for you, like you were saying, 40 grand to one person, 20 grand can be a lot for us that are new agents. But in the same regard, is it the energy of the client that makes it more like, I don't want to work with this person? Because like 20 grand for me would be great right now. You know what I mean? 10 grand would be great for me as a starter. But if then I'm building an infrastructure that's not healthy, if I'm letting people take half of my commission. So how do we dance with that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, first of all, when you generate, you don't have to tolerate. One of my coaches when I first got in the business told me that, and it's one of the wisest things he told me, because when I generate, I don't have to tolerate. So I let that flare, and I made that mistake. Strategically. Like strategically, I should have breathed. Hey, we'll talk about it. I calmed myself down. All right, so tell me a little bit more about what you're thinking around that, and then talk about consequences and risks, and I probably would have had a better shot, at least even to negotiate it. But I didn't. I let it flare up, and so you have to figure out like what are going to be your standards and what are going to be your exceptions, because half my commission was not plausible for me.
Right.
And I let it flare up because she caught me off guard, because I actually haven't role played that. That's why I was like, I need to role play this right now because I let this get me, and really I lost me that money. I really believe that I could at least got a good portion of that. And your ability to know what your exceptions are going to be, because when you generate, you don't have to tolerate. Okay, there we go. Okay, which is. I walked away feeling okay because I got like 10 other deals over here. I got like 20 other people to follow up over here. And there's $1 million deals scattered all in there.
Right.
I prospect my face off though. So I have those conversations, and I even like right now, like I'm not upset about it, but I'm like, would have been nice. But like, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna go cry on my couch for the rest of the afternoon. Like I'm good. So when you generate, you don't have to tolerate. How are you going to generate? You need to get your ass in gear and figure out how many more conversations you need to have. How are you going to have them? Well, that's why you need the GPS and the 411 to figure out like how are you going to, what's your plan, and then how do you stick to it? There was another question.
It kind of reminds me of when I was buying my new car and I wanted to, lower not as a very good car salesman. Wanted to lower them the price, and they would ask me like, what would make this worth the price? Could you have told them like, what value do you feel that I, would provide you that would make me worthy of the full commission?
Yeah.
What value do you think is missing, or what value do you think I'm not bringing that warrants you only want to give me half the commission?
I love that
Because
question.
they got to be an a-hole to answer it.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think they're.
you can't,
I don't.
yeah.
Let me touch it real quick. Is that when you're able to challenge a belief respectfully, compassionately, empathetically, when I can challenge beliefs, and that's what's going to make you money. People are not going to fall into your lap and do business with you. You're going to have to present intelligibly, and usually that's enough, because we saw with Gary yesterday when he was presenting, I'm like, look, they go with the 80% of the first person they talk to. Okay, well, you just got to get in front of them. Okay? And when it happens where you get somebody at the open house or you get somebody at the buyer's rep and they start, I'm in a $40,000 conversation, like I need to be able to challenge these thoughts. That's a great question. to ask, because that question was going right towards like, all right, so tell me, what makes you believe that my services aren't worth the 3%? Or the second question you asked was,
what value do you think
I need to bring?
that I would need to bring to be worthy of?
Yeah, what would I have to do as far as value that I could bring to the transaction that would justify that I do earn the 3% that I normally get?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
The new rims. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I think she would have said, we found the house.
Right.
And that's where.
And that's where I could have segued in and go, well, yeah, I mean, finding the house is typically 25% of the transaction.
Which is reasonable for her to say, for you guys to meet there.
And, okay, I'm not gonna, this is just a fact of the world. Like, there's a lot of ethnicities that if you don't bargain, you don't buy. You have to bargain. Everybody, look, you got, listen. And by the way, it's everywhere outside the United States is how it goes. Because in the United States, we see a sticker and we pretty typically buy sticker price, okay? But the rest of the world is on this old world scale of like, you bargain. And maybe some of that bargaining would have conceded the amount that I would have been comfortable conceding to. Maybe not, but at least I'm offering something up, because even in my presentation, I show like, well, my compensation could be this or it could be that. But I was already down the warpath of like, half the commission, you're an idiot.
Had you gotten to do your whole spiel before?
So he did it right at the beginning.
Because you could have pushed that aside and been like, let's hold off, and then gone through your whole spiel, and then at the end gone,
right.
Now do you want to ask me that question? Because like, basically like, you see the value, how could you possibly say? Because that's what you're saying.
And bringing it back, because the husband was like, this is great.
Let me show you, and then we can talk. We're not talking about price.
Right.
Let's get there.
Right. So the question would have been like, hey, how do you feel now about the value that I'm bringing to you in regards to me being able to earn my keep on 3%? How do you feel about that?
Could there have been a contingency like, if I can't negotiate this much lower, then we'll do that. But if I can, then I'm worth my full commission.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm looking at options.
Right. You'd have to really think about what those measures would be, and it gets a little tricky and hairy.
Oh, because you can't set a buyer's agreement unless it.
Right. Yeah. I'd say you're gonna go for a number, and then you're just gonna land that number. Yeah. Okay.